Let's talk for a minute today about why Donald Trump triggers men. So, Donald Trump has a strong tendency to trigger just about everyone, and he really deeply triggers men. And if you notice, he tends to trigger men in one of two directions. He either triggers them in a very negative way, where they really hate him. A lot of men really hate Trump. And it brings up a lot for them. It brings up some kind of deep pain, some kind of deep fear, um, to see Donald Trump being who he is and doing what he does. On the other hand, he also tends to trigger a lot of men in a positive way. And what that could be called more of an activation. He tends to activate a lot of men because a lot of men see somebody who is moving through the world like a force of nature, like a wrecking ball. Setting aside the specific content of what Trump is doing, it's interesting just to look at the kind of meta picture of seeing a man in the world who is just really on a mission. Whether you agree with the man's mission or not, the man is clearly on a mission. He's making massive moves. We've never seen a president in our lifetime hit the ground running like this and start making so many massive changes. And he embodies certain masculine archetypes, the archetypes of the warrior, the CEO, the king, and yes, potentially the shadow king, some of the shadows of these archetypes, some of the less wholesome versions of these archetypes. I'm not here to claim that Donald Trump is the most wholesomely integrated or the most trustworthy man in the world. I don't know. That's not really what this video is about. But it's just very interesting to notice the way in which some men find Trump's action, his massive action, very activating and inspiring, and it makes them feel galvanized. And in that sense, I would consider myself more on this side of the spectrum. When I see men like Donald Trump and Elon Musk, um, just taking massive action, having a clear vision, having a clear mission, and just penetrating the world with that solar energy of clear vision, clear action, clear mission, it activates something in me, um, that is just like a primal masculine desire to actualize my will in the world, to create in the world, to take big action in the world, to get things done. There's a deep part of every man that desires to penetrate the world with his solar energy, to spark and birth new projects, new possibilities, new creations, who desires to have some kind of deep single-pointed purpose, some kind of deep single-pointed purpose. And so when I see that, I find that activating and galvanizing, again, setting aside the specific content. If I just look at men on a mission, there's something about that activating for me. And it's interesting to notice that a lot of men, again, get very deeply triggered by Donald Trump. And again, there may be many reasons for that. I'm not trying to collapse it all down to this one reason, but I do think that part of why a lot of men get triggered by Donald Trump is that he is embodying that man on a mission archetype at such a high level. And there are many, many men today who do not have a sense of mission, who do not have a sense of purpose, who feel stagnant, who feel suppressed, depressed, who feel flaccid, who feel impotent. And so part of what's happening, and they may not realize this, I think in most cases they don't. In most cases, they come up with other rationalizations for why they don't like Donald Trump. But part of why they don't like him is because he's showing them their own unintegrated power. He's showing them their own unintegrated masculine power and what it looks like for a man to call upon those recesses of ancient masculine power and point that single pointedly toward a mission and a vision and to become the proverbial wrecking ball who's capable of just striking this planet like a meteorite and making shit happen, getting shit done, getting shit done. And so, the invitation that I would offer to men out there is to really look deeply within yourself and take the time to set aside the specific content of what Trump is doing and see, is there something for you to learn and receive from Donald Trump? Is there something that this triggering, this activation can bring forth for you? Is there a way in which, rather than hating your own inner Donald Trump, you might actually be being invited to integrate and love your inner Donald Trump? And that doesn't mean becoming Donald Trump. It's more like integrating that ancient masculine power to become a man on a mission. And whatever your vision is, if you integrate that power, you're going to be much more effective in the world, much more capable, much more able of actualizing, penetrating, creating, manifesting, bringing forth whatever that vision is. So that's what I would invite men to ask themselves. Is there an invitation in the embodiment, the beingness of Donald Trump, that is inviting you to activate, that is inviting you to let that man on a mission archetype activate? Because on a deep level, I feel that every man wants to actualize that. You know, what man in his heart of hearts truly wants to feel sluggish and impotent and flaccid and undirected and without purpose and without a clear sense of mission and why we're here in the world and what we're doing? I don't think there's a man on earth who in his heart really wants to feel that way. Maybe there is. Who knows? Maybe there is. But the vast majority of men, no, that's not what we really want. And so allow the archetypal embodiment of Donald Trump, if it's deeply triggering you, allow the possibility that there's an activation trying to take place. You don't have to love Donald Trump. You don't have to agree with everything he's doing to allow that activation to take place. You can set aside the content of what he's doing and you can say, is it possible that I'm being so triggered by this guy because he is a single pointed battering ram of masculine energy and masculine purpose? And I'm actually being invited to embody more of those energies in my own life in support of whatever mission my heart is called to pursue, in support of whatever my North Star happens to be. So that's the invitation today, men. And one last invitation is to consider, if you are wanting to embody more of that purpose, more of that mission in your life, consider joining a men's circle. Consider joining men's work. Consider joining the men's work that I lead. I've been leading men's work for years now. We really do a good job of balancing heart and fire. So it's a very loving space that can hold you exactly as you are. And yet there's also compassionate fire that invites you to step into that purpose, that invites you to step into that mission, that invites you to actualize your gifts in the world. So if that speaks to you, if that calls to you, check out the link in the description and apply to join us in the brotherhood. Much love, brothers. Thank you for listening. Peace to you. Take good care. Take it easy. See you later.